meeting where solutions were also provided.
In his short remarks, the newly elected chairman and governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, acknowledged the tasks ahead of the forum. Abiodun revealed that the meeting was the first in about 3 years, saying it underscores the commitment and determination to ensure that the southern states occupy their place of pride in the country.
We have discussed a whole wide-ranging number that reflects our aspirations, our determination, and the new and repositioned Southern Governors Forum.
The chairman used the forum to thank the governors for the confidence reposed in him and Professor Soludo, and pledged they would ensure that the confidence is justified.
With over 200 million people, Nigeria is witnessing a boom in demand for meat. There are, however, worries that the rising cost of cattle in the country may affect the affordability of beef for Nigerians. Osrc's Joy Pius raised the development and reports that stakeholders in the value chain are lamenting the effect of the hiking cost of cattle on beef availability and affordability in the market.
According to government estimates, Nigeria consumes 360,000 tons of beef each year, accounting for half of all West Africa. Nigeria is experiencing a historic demographic expansion and a spectacular change in food habits. With a population growth nearing 2.8% per year, the country's domestic production is far from being able to meet demand. Amidst the growing population is the challenge of grazing, facing nomadic cattle herders from the north, leading to influx of the herders in the south, a major trigger of farmer-herder clashes. Cattle is a major source of meat in the country, with many households consuming beef as alternative to chicken, pork, or others due to its relative affordability. The price of beef in the market has jacked up, creating worries among the masses.
If I buy 500 meat now, see, this one now, just 500 meat. If I do not go say, what you give me, this one too small.
In Akure, consumers lament the surging cost of beef, saying the development might take the meat out of the reach of common man.
A kilo of meat was being sold formerly for 4,000, but to my knowing, the second day I had how much? Now it is 6,000 now. It really needs urgent attention. If not, you need to see the rate at which hunger are ravaging homes these days. Ravaging hungers everywhere.
Ẹran tí wọ́n rà ní 200 naira, tí wọ́n rà ní 500 naira, ẹ̀rí pé ó ti da 2,000, tó ti da 5,000. So kò sí nǹkan tá a lè mówó lọ́jà tó ṣe rà ń sìn. Tẹ́ bá dèdè ẹran báyìí kò ṣe rà. So everything ló ti wọ́n.
Leadership of National Butchers Association in Akure South local government blamed the rising cost of beef on the increment in the cost of cattle, which they say is becoming unbearable.
Now the money of cow is too high. Now since 2 months ago, now the cow I buy like 250, 300. Now it's 500,000 naira. Now I consider making the people know with this thing. The situation is no good. It no pay us. Now if I get another business, I will leave it now to do another business. It's gone before. Now the business I will teach in almost 35 years. What I want to go to do now?
Bí a bá dé bí ẹran tá ti rà ní bí 400,000 tẹ́lẹ̀ 350 tẹ́lẹ̀ ó di 700 750 800 so ká tó sanwó abattoir ká tó san ká náà tó jẹ ká tó a ò rí nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹran tí à ń ta kò fẹ́ sẹ́ran 1,000 mọ́ àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹ ẹran wọ́n máa láǹfẹ́ ẹran 500 adẹ́n sàlàyé fún wọn pé ọjà àwọ̀ ò bọ́jà 500 mọ́ ẹran gan 1,000 gan kò jọjúmọ́.
The butchers solicit the intervention of government at all levels to address the bottlenecks in the interest of the public. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
state has been reassured of government's commitment towards making life conducive for the people of the state. According to the Commissioner for Agriculture and Forestry, Olayato, several interventions and activities towards alleviating sufferings and ensuring improved food security in the state have been put in place by the Ondo state government. Now the report.
There are two types of palliatives that we distributed. One, we distributed commodities, grains, from the Federal Grain Reserve. It was given to us in collaboration with the federal government. That's rice, gari, and grains. The rice and gari are supposed to be distributed to the vulnerable and the less privileged in the society. It will be taken to the various local government. We've set up a committee in the local government comprises of the Honorable Commissioner representing the local government, the MHA, member of the House of Assembly representing the local government, representative of religious societies, the chairman of the local government, the NOGE, the labor people, and so on and so forth, and representative of the KBACs, the Obas, in the various local government. So those were the ones that will supervise the distribution of those commodities to the less privileged. We also distributed grains, corn. These ones is given to farmers because they are not grains to be planted, they are for feeds. So these ones were given to various farmers associations and individuals that we know are farmers who will use it as feeds for their livestock. Then we also distributed power tillers for cultivation, and this will be given or has been given to farmers and associations that we know that are real farmers and they have farms. We also distributed tricycle. This one distributed along local government. We give them 10 to each local government, and they are supposed to be given to communities, associations, and farmers for their use. And this is to help them to bring their products, commodities from the farm.
Over 13,000 livestock farmers in the state have been inculcated into the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support LPRES project, an intervention of the World Bank through the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to liberate the livestock sector of the country. The state project coordinator Olufemi Adegun reeled off the statistics during a presentation of the progress performance in the state to the World Bank representatives and the National Coordination Office of the project who were in on the state for assessment exercise. Osrc's Joy Pius reports that one of the objectives of the project is to strengthen the country's capacity to respond to farmers-herders conflict in Nigeria.
The Livestock Productivity and Resilience Supports LPRES project team, which comprises the World Bank team, led by the task team leader, Dr. Manivel Sene, and the National Project Coordinator, Dr. Sanusi Abubakar, are in Ondo State on the third implementation support mission of the project. Briefing the team on the progress of the project in Ondo State, the project coordinator, Olufemi Adeogun, noted that the State Coordination Office has profiled over 13,000 beneficiaries who are livestock farmers, as well as processors and marketers of the selected value chains of poultry, pig, sheep, and goats farmers in the state. Adeogun said the State Coordination Office has also constituted grievances redress committee across the 18 local government areas of the state to address various crises among herders and farmers. According to him, designs for the construction of Artificial Insemination Center, Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory, Abattoir Incinerator Center, establishment of sheep and goat markets to help boost production and resilience of livestock in the state are all in place.
We are going to work with 3 value chains: poultry, sheep and goats, and pig. And all those farmers, they are going to be benefited, either they are producer, processors, or marketers.
Reacting to development, the task team leader of the World Bank, Dr. Manivel Sene, and the National Project Coordinator, Dr. Sanusi Abubakar, stated that considering the onboarding of a state, the implementation progress is still on course. However, identifying areas to improve upon to achieve success.
We are not expecting much activities actually on ground. It's just for us to ginger them up so that they can have a smooth takeoff. And I think so far so good, they are having a smooth takeoff.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, Foluke Tunde Daramola, assured of speedy implementation of the project.
They have enlightened us the more, we've been educated the more, and we're going back home to do the needful. So it cannot but succeed.
Earlier, the team had visited some farmers and facilities for first-hand information about livestock status in the state. El-Press is a 6-year World Bank-assisted project through the federal government's Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, with over 20 states, including Ondo State, subscribing to the project. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Ondo State's Governor Lucky Ayatollah says the state is open to partnering the federal government and all the relevant agencies towards achieving sustainable development goals at all levels. Governor Ayatollah, at a meeting with the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, Princess Adejoke Orilokwe Adefulire in Akure, said all hands must be on deck to ensure that the target of the initiative is realized before its expiration in year 2030. Ayatollah, who acknowledged that the 15% global success of the initiative is a far cry from the set targets, promised its administration's commitment to improve the trend. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, Mrs. Adejoke Orilokwe Adefulire, expressed our readiness to promote further development at all levels by working on the plans submitted by the states and council areas. She stressed the need for council chairmen to do more in the area of infrastructural development, while noting the need to reduce the rates of maternal mortality at all levels.
Multidimensional poverty is higher in rural areas, where 72% of the people are poor, compared to 42% of people in urban places. It's very interesting to say that people at the rural community and rural communities are very poor, because oftentimes we neglect them. And if we neglect them, they continue to be poor. And we should not allow the poor of the poor to continue, the population of the poor to continue to rise. We have to get to where they are, make them strong. Where you have rural community, I'm happy that Your Excellency, you are from a larger community. So those communities like that are rural community. Development must catch up with them. So wherever they are, if they need water, provide water for them. If they need electricity, provide electricity for them. If they need school, let the local government that are in that local government provide school for them. If they need market, they will stay where they are, and their life will be more meaningful to them. So not because they are very far from us, we will neglect them. It's creating too much problems and attention to the world. So God will help us. So our chairman of local government must pay more attention to the rural and riverine communities, more as they work with those people in the urban cities.
We cannot but recognize the importance of these goals in addressing the developmental challenges facing our state and the country at large, even globally. I'm glad to disclose that our administration has been working to align our policies and programs with the SDGs. We are making significant progress in critical areas of the intervention. We nevertheless acknowledge the fact that there is still much to be done. In fact, not with the statistics of 15% globally. And that, if it's global record, it's also our own data in Ondo State, in Nigeria. It's part of that data. So it means we still have a lot to do. We've not been able to achieve it. Because Nigeria data is not going to be gotten from Abuja only. It is the aggregate data from the subnationals, the states, and the local governments. The state is not just Akure, for example, in those states. It's the 18 local governments put together make up Ondo State. So, just as it is in Nigeria, that all the 36 states. So, the data is it's an aggregate collation of data from all the local government, the states that make up the data for Nigeria. And then it's detail for other countries of the world. So, we're having 15% globally. That means there's still more to be done. We will therefore continue to request the support of the federal government and other stakeholders to achieve SDGs. It's not one man's business. It involves every one of us, all stakeholders.
Speaking there, that's the governor of Ondo State, Honorable Lucky Orimisun Aiyedatiwa. And before him, you heard from SSA to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, Mrs. Adejoke Orelopi Adefulere. Residents of Akure have expressed concern over incessant floodings due to inadequate drainage and poor channelization, leading to property damage and health hazards during the rainy season. Roads in some neighborhoods in the state capital are flooded, making it impossible to move around and putting both residents and motorists at risk. Osrc's Tosin Adebowale completes the story.
Akure, the Ondo State capital, is experiencing a familiar yet troubling situation as the rain continues to pour down, with many people having to deal with the effect of inadequate drainage infrastructure. The poor condition of the city's water channel has become a major worry. Many homes have experienced flooding, leading to property damage and the displacement of several families. The stagnation of water has also raised fear of waterborne diseases as residents struggle with the challenges of inadequate proper channelization. An educationist, Adelugba Adekombi from Odo Ijoka, voiced his annoyance at the poor state of the water channel, claiming that people in the environment are always trapped whenever it rains.
Nobody will be able to go to use our homes or our business places, like our schools there. Whenever there is rain, we cannot go to the school. It makes it difficult for the pupils to come to the school environment. So in that case, we employ the government and we beg them to help us to intervene. And you know, some people that are living in this environment, it affects them. Some of them are even they pack out of this environment.
Mr. Jolly Adi, a businessman, expressed displeasure at the state government's inaction. He also called on the government to expand the waterway as erosion is eating away the landscape.
If we look at the direction of where the water is coming from, you see that the government still have a little things to still do again here. At the direction of the water now is not going directly where it's supposed to go through. So the erosion is affecting the land of this side. Why it was supposed to come straight and pass directly. So because of this thing now, if we have any heavy rainfall, the water will full up to the stage that it will enter towards the very place.
Mrs. Adeniyi Yusuf, who runs a small fruit stand store at Fuashaye area, lamented low patronage and attributed it to flooding whenever rain falls. She also made a plea to the state government to complete the construction of the channel.
If let's assume government help us do am, may e dey as a hand wey dey take hold am, may dey do am completed. It will not be, we for happy, if will not be any problem.
As the rain persists, the Edo State government faces growing pressure to provide lasting solutions to prevent future crises and ease current difficulties being faced by citizens. Tosin Adebowale, Osrc News.
The Providence University, Delaware, USA, and the Chartered Institute of Information and Strategy Management have conferred an honorary doctorate degree and fellow on the Akogun of Okakoko Olubenga Omole. Omole, the special advisor to the state governor on transportation, received the honor in Abuja, the nation's capital. We'll bring you the full details in our subsequent bulletins. Special advisor designates Mrs. Sheil Osamaye as returned home in a federal local government era to imitate our townsmen on a new responsibilities. Within 2 weeks, Mrs. Osamaye was appointed member of the Governing Council of the Federal College of Education, Okene, Kogi State, by the federal government and special advisor to Governor Aiyedatiwa on Women Affairs. Omoriola Ngbeji has the detail.
It was a homecoming for Mrs. Sheil Osamaye, who returned home to intimate her community of her political appointments. First port of call was the palace of Alara of Ilaramoki, where people of the community were patiently waiting to receive her. Speaking on her appointment both at the state and federal level, Mrs. Osamaye expressed delight, saying it caught her unawares.
I don't have any sense of entitlement whatsoever. I'm just grateful that I'm being considered for this exalted position of a special advisor, Women Affairs. We agree with that women constitute 60% of the total population of the state. So for me to be assigned as someone to give advices, okay, that will promote the cause of women in this state, it means the governor has so much confidence in my person.
While expressing her concern for the welfare of women, especially the downtrodden, the special advisor designate promised to utilize her position to better the lives of rural dwellers.
By God's grace, we will not fail the women of Ondo State. We will ensure that we do all we can to ensure that the women are taken care of. Their welfare, their social welfare are properly taken care of.
Reacting, Alara of Ilaramoki, Oba Abiodun Adefeinti, lauded Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa for the honest selection, saying Mrs. Osamaye had always displayed a high level of responsibility.
Ilaramoki is lucky that we are having such people, and as I said during my introductory speech, it's good that we have this kind of thing happening in our town. She's representing Ilaramoki as a whole, and we believe she's going to be a good ambassador to each and every one of us. And I must use this opportunity to thank the governor for doing this for us.
Mrs. Osamaye also visited Onibuji of Ibuji, Oba Sumonu Ojo, where she was received with warmth. The monarch thanked the governor for the honor and advised Osamaye to put in her best in her assigned portfolios.
She should continue to develop herself in behaving well when discharging her duty. She should continue to respect her oga, loyal to her oga, faithfulness to her oga, and dedicated to her duties.
Mrs. Sheil Osamaye's name was announced among others on 19th June 2024 as Special Advisor to Governor Aiyedatiwa on Women Affairs. Omoriola Ngbeji, Osrc News.
An auto crash was reported at the early hours of today at the Plaza Junction on Okejebu Road in Akure, Ondo State capital.
Yeah,